What's up, everybody? Happy weekend. Happy weekend? Sure, that's a thing. What's going on? Nice to see you on this Saturday or Sunday, whenever the hell I drop this. This is the Peacemaker review. If you're brand new to the channel, hit subscribe. If you're looking for Peacemaker reviews and you stumbled upon this, just go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification button. Give it a shot. And if you don't like it, then you unsubscribe down the line. But do it for now. Come on, check it out. I hope you get some laughs from this channel. Some fun shit going on. Anyway, Peacemaker. Peacemaker. So this is the first 3 episodes. It is spoiler heavy. So just to give everybody a little bit of an idea getting into this, if you haven't seen it. Oh, I haven't seen it. Should I watch? Yeah, well, I'm going to give you a whole bunch of shit. So hopefully you have seen it. I love the Suicide Squad, man, and I wasn't expecting to. I didn't know what to expect for a lot of different reasons. One, the fact I didn't like Suicide Squad when it came out. There was just a long music video that didn't really have much substance to it. I love David Ayer, just didn't work for me. And then there was the fact that I didn't love Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I thought that it was funny. It had some moments. Everybody had a joke for me. I liked the first one, and I was like, I don't know. I just think that James Gunn could be doing something more towards his sense of humor and those types of things that he did, like with Super, that I'd love to see. And then they gave me the Suicide Squad, which I absolutely loved. I loved that movie. It was my favorite comic book movie of the year last year, and one of my favorites of the year in general. And one of the things that really stood out to me inside of that movie was John Cena, who I think sometimes is hit or miss when I'm watching some of the stuff that he's done. I thought he was good in the Amy Schumer movie that he did. It was a train wreck or whatever. He was good in the Cock Blockers movie, and there's sometimes I didn't like him in Transformers, in the Bumblebee movie. There's other things that it was like, I don't know. He comes off corny sometimes, but it's the perfect fit for this character. It is the perfect fit. James Gunn took all of this dude's strengths and the comedy that he's able to pull off and found the perfect character for him to play. Because Peacemaker can be such a putz sometimes, but yet he's likable. But you shouldn't like him because he's kind of like he's a narcissistic, killing prick, and he's got demons, and we find out kind of what the demons are inside of this series. So it's and the opening credits are out of control ridiculous. The whole show is ridiculous. And one of the things that you're going to get throughout that you have to be on board with, because if you're not on board with this, I've realized this, you're not going to like this show. There's many times that there's like mundane conversation happening, right? And they'll be in the middle of something, and one sentence that would normally be like one joke of a movie turns into like a 3-minute dialogue, whether it's about Berenstain or Berenstain Bears, whatever. There's a whole scene with Vigilante and Peacemaker where Peacemaker's crying in his bed, and he looks out the window, and there's Vigilante, who's like kind of his stands the Peacemaker, right? And he's just like, dude, how do I know you're not just standing there jerking off in front of me? He's like, why would I be doing that? And then you get into this whole dialogue about Louis C.K., which the edgy humor is there. You have all of James Gunn's humor is there. And the thing that works for me differently than, say, in movies is that you have a series that you can just pepper in a lot of these scenes and a lot of these jokes, and it works, and it's funny, and there's an overall mission. And the overall mission is that now it's not Amanda Waller that is recruiting Peacemaker, but she's recruited, I guess, this whole crew that has to find out the butterflies. What are the butterflies? What had happened with the butterflies? These alien-type creatures. And they put you in these positions as an audience that you're like, oh, man, he's got to kill these kids at the end and this family. But then you see him as these rotten aliens. And even then you're like, I don't know. I still don't know if I want to see him do it. And then the way that the Vigilante comes in, played by Freddie Strowman, he comes in and he goes, it's all right, man. I got it. And he's just like this maniacal fucking lunatic who's and he's getting excited, shooting and like, mother down, baby bear down, whatever they're saying about it. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm actually on board, because these are like killer aliens who are not good creatures. And we see as much when they get the surviving father. And this is the 3rd episode. I'm jumping all over from 1 to 3. So if you haven't seen the 3 episodes, like I said, get lost. But it's these moments that you can tell the style of James Gunn is all over this thing. Because the father alien who survives at the very end, instead of just being able to lop off the dude's toe, Vigilante's toe, he he's having struggles and problems because you're using a dull instrument, dude. And then Peacemaker breaks through, blows the guy's head off with a shotgun, and then the butterfly gets out to end episode 3, put us where we are. But there's so much going on. I actually think the character with the most development and the best story thus far would be Leota, who's played by Danielle Brooks. And Danielle Brooks, I loved from Orange is the New Black. So when I saw her, I was like, okay, and she winds up playing Amanda Waller's daughter, who was put on the team in secret and is almost like spying on them. And she's always got to hear these things every time they're taking shots at her mom. She can't say anything. And she's trying to deal with this thing. She's got her wife. She's like, okay, I got to do my job here. And then there's like going back to what I just said, like these jokes that like just pop, instead of popping in, become a thing. It's like she's in the middle of like going through her detailed report and a picture of her wife's privates pop up. And then John Cena thinks it's hilarious, and they start talking about it, and they keep throwing these jokes. You're waiting for these types of things to happen now throughout the series. And it's like they play with this sadistic shit that's going on. Like there's this whole scene when after there's this Louis C.K. conversation that they have between Vigilante and Peacemaker. Then as buddies, what do? They start shooting up and shooting in the backwoods somewhere. But then they're throwing bombs at each other, and they're shooting like live rounds at each other inside of the head. It's like, it's a fucking banana show. It's a banana show, and I love it. I love it because it's not for everybody. There's going to be some people, if you didn't like the Suicide Squad and you didn't like the Peacemaker inside the Suicide Squad, I can't imagine that you're going to love this. If you don't like James Gunn's humor, I can't imagine you're going to like this. But if you do like those things and you like a little bit edgy, and it's definitely not politically correct, and they take a lot of swipes at a lot of things. I mean, look, man, the most sinister character I think in the entire show, rightfully so, is Robert Patrick, Terminator, man. And he comes in, he plays John Cena's dad, and he is just a despicable human being. He's a racist. And he gets framed. And I love this, again, going back, I'm probably going to keep referencing this, excuse me, over and over and over again. There's not these jokes that keep popping in, whether it's, John Cena calls the one dude dye beard or beard dye, whatever he calls him. It's so funny that he goes into that. And Steve Agee plays John, and John has his move where he's able to take out Judo Master at the end. There's a really funny moment there. Everybody has their place and their rhythms, but there's this thing that Steve Agee's character does. They ask him to basically give the license plate to make sure they don't know Peacemaker's there when he kills that first butterfly. Make sure he's not there. And he's like, all right, and he frames his dad. And I remember saying to myself, they framed his dad? Why the hell would he do that? That's stupid. And then in the next scene, he's like, why would you do that? That's stupid. I was like, okay. So they're answering any stupid questions that you think that they have. And the absurdity of this show is why they're going to get me back every single time. He's got a pet eagle. Why? Eagerly? Like because of the freedom angle of it, the fact that he can't draw things the right way. And Jennifer Holland is a really not a great person. Well, the actress is a good person, I should say. I don't know if she's a good person or not, but I'm not going to say she's not a good person. Amelia Harcourt, the character, is not a good person. And why do I say that? Because there's a fucked up scene that happens in the last episode where the Amanda Waller's daughter, who is a decent person, is the guard comes out and he's like, what are you doing here? And she's like, she has the gun on him. She's like, I got kids. He's like, are you one of them? He's like, no, I'm not. She's like, I don't think he's one of them. And Harcourt goes, I don't give a shit, and kills the guy. And I'm like, oh, that's brutal. That shows you like where they are as a group and where she was coming out of CIA. This is why I like television so much, because there's little things that you pick up throughout these 3 episodes. She was recruited out of school. She's really cold. She's got to deal with all this shit all the time. She walks into a bar. She's got these creeps hitting on her. She beats the shit out of him, and then 5 seconds later, Peacemaker is trying to hit on her, right? And he's continuously trying to do it, but she's starting to kind of gravitate towards him a little bit, as it looks like it. Then you get these ridiculous scenes where I thought it was a little, and this is what I will say, as much as I love the absurd humor and as much as I love how it's working for me more so in a show like this than everybody gets a joke and say like Guardians, there are going to be some times that I'm going to go, okay, well that one to me is a little overkill. There's a couple that when Peacemaker is he kills the first butterfly, I think it's in episode 2. He's coming out and he's trying to run away from the cops, because he's so fucking stupid. He puts his face out, and they go, "Oh, there he is. Let's go get him." And they're running around and go get him. And he busts into this couple's apartment, and then there's this whole dialogue with the couple, and then eventually the wife wants to bang Peacemaker, and then does. It just the dynamic between the couple at first was funny, and then I was like, okay, now we're just getting this is another bit. And sometimes when I'm so aware it's a bit, I was like, the first bit of joking that I absolutely loved, and knowing and setting it up that this is what the show is when Jamil, I believe is the character's name, when John Cena first is free, wakes up in the hospital, is about to get out, and has this whole conversation with Jamil about what's happening, and he says, "You're not a superhero." He goes, "I am." He goes, "I'm Peacemaker." He goes, "Get the fuck out of here. You're not a real superhero." The delivery on both of them inside of it, that scene really worked and set up what the tone's going to be, because you got to be on board with Peacemaker, and you got to understand that he doesn't like the fact that he's narcissistic. He doesn't like the fact that he drives everywhere away. He calls fake beard or dye beard. He says, he'd be your friend, but you're just driving him away because you're a dick. And he knows it, but yet he can't help himself. So they're adding these little things in the character that I really enjoy. And the opening credits, by the way, which I have to mention, is so stupid and wonderful, where there's like this little dance number, and everybody who's involved is in it, and they're just letting you know that you're about to watch ridiculous shit while you watch this. So enjoy. Don't take it too seriously. Kick back, have a beer, have whatever the hell you want to do while you're watching this thing, and don't take yourself too seriously, because this is just a show full of fucking nonsense, and it is, and there's gratuitous violence. It is an insane show that I'm really enjoying. D. Bradley Baker from Clone Wars plays eagerly somehow, which is great. I'm gonna butcher the actor who plays Clemson Mern, Chukwudi Uje. I hope I got close. I like him as the leader. He's got a dark past. There's something, and he embraces it. He's like, "Yeah, you never used to share my feelings, but now I will." And he's trying. They're all dealing with something. There are all these misfits that have to deal with each other, and that's what I enjoy about shows like this, where it's okay. At first, they're only doing it because they tell Peacemaker, "You're gonna be dead soon. If we're gonna blow up, you still got that chip in your head. We're gonna blow you up." And I love the references to the Suicide Squad that they put in there. I love the references to the fact that Batman's running around. There's they embrace everything about it. So I'm digging it. I'm digging it right now. And as I said, the things that I don't like about it, sometimes it gets a little long in the tooth when they're going for the humor. Like, the humor's not going to go for everybody. It's not going to hit every single time. As long as it hits for the majority for me, that's when I'm on board. And as long as each character fits, even though everybody has a joke, the thing, like, I'm going to give a reference like Guardians 2. Love Dave Bautista. And every time that Dave Bautista hits his lines and got a joke out in Guardians 1 or Guardians 2, they hit. I just didn't know how consistent it was with the character in number 2. It seemed like every single person had a joke no matter what. Every single person had a joke, no matter who you were, no matter how serious you were supposed to be, everybody had a joke. In this show, everybody has a joke, but it's consistent inside of who they are as characters. And I didn't know how I was going to feel about Vigilante, played by Freddie Stroma. I didn't know how I was going to feel. I was like, it's just going to be some kind of goofy kid that doesn't know. He's a maniac, and they have this conversation on the couch, and just nonchalantly, he's like, "Yeah, someone graffitiing and doing, I shoot the guy in the face. You think I like to do that? If someone does this, you think I like that?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "Yeah, I like that." It's just like it's nobody's really like good people except Amanda Waller's daughter, I think, is the best person morally in this show. But I'm digging it. And I watched all 3. It didn't feel like work watching all 3. It felt like, okay, I want to continue watching this show, because sometimes I'm going to review something for you guys. I'm going to look, and I'm going to go, "Look, guys, I'm not digging it. Don't think I'm going to finish it. Don't come back to me to watch the rest. I'm not. This is not when I used to work for different places going, I got to stick through this and review this to the end. If I don't like something, I'm going to bail. I'm not bailing on this show. I dig it. I like it. I like what John Cena is doing. This is definitely his best character, his best work. I think he works very well. This is what James Gunn does very well, whether it's with Bautista or anyone. Batista has given him this credit. He knows how to pull the best sides out of people and the talent out of people. And I want to see what's going to happen to Robert Patrick, as Robert Patrick goes into into jail now, and he's the what is he, the white wolf or the white, I don't know, whatever he might be, but he's pretty much a Nazi, and they by putting him in jail again, giving him this power, he was just kind of subdued, living the life, and now it looks like he's going to really be a thorn in the side. And the question is, what's going on with the butterflies? Where does this all lie? Because I liked the idea of, like, they can't let people know that they're. It reminded me a little bit of They Live, a tad bit, but we're learning more about butterflies. Peacemaker's learning more about butterflies. So I'm looking forward to learning more about the show. But I got to ask you guys, what do you guys think about the show? Are you liking it? You're not liking it? If you are subscribed to this channel already, you know that I'm trying to answer every single comment that comes in. A lot of comments on that last Boba Fett episode, so I'm still going through all those. But it's but I'm doing it. But I would love to get your comments on here, and please, please, please subscribe to the channel and hit those notification buttons. It's very, very important to the survival of any channel, especially this channel. So if you can do it, please do it. All right, I'm going to, at the moment, I will be reviewing these episode by episode, or if they for some reason release episode 4 and 5 at the same time, well, then I'll do that again. That's what I wanted to wait for. 1, 2, and 3 came out, so I'll review 1, 2, and 3. 4 and 5 come out, I'll do it. Just 4 comes out, that's what I'll do. So join me on these reviews, and I'll probably put them up a little earlier in the week next time, if there is only one. But that's it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time. That's the Peacemaker. That's a spoiler review. Peace. See what I did there? I'm a fucking idiot.